we're sitting here talking about all the things they won't reprint, and on that list are at least 4 of the cards on that they reprinted. I mean, like, as a consensus.
And I
like,
fully
no
expect to see Chalice of the Void.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
To have these mics on us.
Sure, why not?
The only card I have
Sure, why not?
the Mythic Cavern of Souls. I think that's going to be the rare.
That could be.
Yeah. The Mythic.
Are we recording?
Yeah, you're good.
No,
All right,
it's
I'm
not.
gonna mold a 6. Damn, I shut that down. I'm gonna mold a 6.
Yeah.
My 7 was pretty loose, I think, in terms of keeping. This isn't particular. I'm gonna mold a 6. My 7 was pretty loose, I think, in terms of keeping. This isn't particular. I'm gonna mold a. My 7 was pretty loose.
It's yeah.
I want to attack with Mom there, just because Terminus. I can't stop Terminus. I need to get damage in. If he wants to sword the... He swords Zingle 1/1. I want to attack with Mom there, just because Terminus. I can't stop Terminus.
Okay.
I need to get...
So it's picking up from this one, but how do I...
lights on.
So it's picking up from this one, but how do I?
That is it. A lot of other
Testing.
lights.
Is it on? I don't see any lights on.
Well, right now it's set for this from this one, but
Might have to look into it for next week.
well, right now it's set for this from this one.
Might have to
Too much technology. Yeah, let's just stick with this one for this time. And
Yeah, we'll get it.
well, the problem is I just didn't have. I only got these in, and I have much better, actually, a lot better quality of those mics coming in from Japan soon. Let's see.
Alright. We're okay to go then?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Alright.
you're fine.
So I'm going to cast a Flickerless. It's correct. Yep. Good.
Evan's fetching a basic here. Facing death and taxes, Wasteland is always a constant threat.
I do like to get our basics while we can.
One of the advantages Miracles has is it plays such a high number of basics. It has some natural immunity to decks with Blood Moon, decks with Wasteland. In fact, there were several iterations of Miracles that splashed red, not only for Pyroblast, but for sideboard Blood Moons. And now he has access to all of his colors. The nice thing about the Flicker Wisp, it's a nice evasive clock that Evan will eventually have to deal with, but he doesn't really have anything that deals 1 damage. So he's down to Swords to Plowshares or blocking with, say, a Vendilion Click if he's got that in his main deck. Brad clearly thinking this Aether Vial is not going to exist. He would be correct.
Pass the turn. Sure.
You're now seeing one of the reasons the Miracle is one of the more disliked decks in Legacy, simply because at any large tournament, it adds at least 15 minutes to every round.
Tap planes.
Sure. We'll make Matt those 4 colors. Just testing out this cute little new graphic thing I've been working
I'm
with.
definitely not red. I agree. Yeah, but in that color combination, would be one of the most popular generals in EDH.
Okay. Well, the nice thing about doing it live too is no editing, but it also says format standard, which is incorrect. I'll have to make up new overlays for the different formats too.
Yeah, we're playing Legacy because that was a monastery mentor that was protected by a force of will.
I'm sure so.
You're just down to 1 card, right? Yep. Alright, I'm gonna do this. And then attack for 5. Or no.
Not,
This week, yeah.
not the card Eben wanted to see. Puts in danger his monastery mentor. Brad, of course, not wanting to let him untap and possibly play a spell to prowess it up. Instantly kills it. Yet, still with the Sensei's Divining Top and a 1/1 prowess monk on the field, that is still a major threat Brad is going to have to deal with. You know, the Mother of Runes giving protection from white to herself, can be an infinite blocker, unless Eben has a chance to remove her or force Brad to tap her prior to attacks. And the de facto mascot of Legacy, Brainstorm. You have to think long and hard before you register a deck without Brainstorm in Legacy. We'll forgive Eben, though, for the poor choice of artwork on his brainstorms today.
Good artwork. 18.
We'll agree to disagree, but you're wrong.
So good.
Yep.
Don't see where.
Yeah.
How do you? I don't see where you set search engine stuff for live streams. So if like someone was to search right now, they'd see it. So much learning. I don't like it.
Upkeep.
Oh, learning's great. I love learning new things.
Oh, me too, but
Combat.
But it's not instantaneous.
right.
Trigger. I'm not really worried about the monk killing me, so go ahead.
Eben want to take another look at his top three. He's chosen a different card for his draw step.
Upkeep, draw.
Important in Legacy to announce all of your steps, and so much interaction happens on non-main phases.
It is too much mana at this point to really pour it in the upkeep. I might do it at some point. If like he has Force of Will mana now, so like I could do it at this end step to keep him off hard casting Force of Will. I don't really need to deploy anything at this point.
Yeah, so
I'm
you don't,
facing lethal. He's facing lethal right now.
yeah, you're not really worried about Force of Will. You don't have to have anything else resolved for you to win the game.
Creature. Yes.
Jace the Mind Sculptor going down.
It's representing a sword right now. One card, right?
Okay. I actually have to get back to work now. Don't worry.
I will respond to this.
Eben also has to remember he does have one prowess trigger on his monk. So it's currently a 2-2.
Can't really do anything that I want to do, so
Here we go.
I'll let it resolve.
God damn, that looks good. I like it.
Looks very good.
All right, guys.
Now you see the reason.
Yeah, I'll figure out the thing with the mics this weekend. I haven't even had time to plug them in or test them until just now, so
Yeah.
we'll figure it out.
Now you see reason number 5 that Jit
On your
is
end, so-
busted because the counters are on the art, the equipment, not on the creature.
Sure. It's kind of what I was talking about. On his end step, I want him to use his mana. Now he doesn't have swords mana up, which is going to open up some more options on my turn. Still on your end step. You gain 2. I think getting Jace off the field is fine. Does open me up to swords.
One thing you have to consider about the Miracles deck is they don't have endless win conditions. You've already taken care of one Monastery Mentor.
Yeah.
They usually run at most 2 Jace.
Equip. Attack. Give it +2/+2. Flicker Wisp. Wasteland. Go.
Choosing not to Wasteland here because he can't keep him off double of white or blue.
Also, kind of forcing Evan to act on his turn if he wants to deal with his mom now. Evan not having a fetch makes this top
Yeah.
a lot worse.
He is paying the price for not drawing his fetches. Decides to take care of the mom, hoping that, he can take care of the Flicker Wisp without the interference. This does reduce him from having to have 2 removal spells to a single one.
Sword is not going to get any better with him on the field.
Now, most of this gets solved by a Terminus.
Yeah, I have not seen one of those. Huh. Good. There. I'll make it +2/+2.
Okay. 2 turn clock is just a single more swing from the Flicker Wisp. We'll do him in. What he's playing. And we've got.
Alright. Good.
Oh, is that the one who searches for a
Recruiter
1 mana?
guard.
Yeah, Recruiter.
It's a toughness 2 or less. So basically anything. Get deeper.
Just gonna brainstorm. We're gonna get him 1 card deeper.
If one of them's a fetch, he can get him more looks. Jeez.
I guess that's wrong.
Sure.
The Terminus was the last card Evan saw.
Second main.
Old
You get a
Batter
turn.
Skull.
Go ahead. I don't think I have a turn.
Evan's gonna top in his upkeep, trying to set up his draw step. And he finally sees some kind of shuffle effect. Which he's going to take advantage of right now.
Yep. Yep.
Now the sweat every player playing against Miracles has, a card was left on top of the deck. Is it interaction, or is my opponent bluffing?
There's one easy way to find out. Put this on the side. Yeah. Results? Only him Sensei's Divine top.
I was told you guys were playing Legacy back here.
We're streaming.
Alright, I've got a deck on me if you want to get a game at some point.
One card. Yeah, I think it's better just to go for it. I'll equip. Attack. Yep.
Gets maximum value to Snapcaster, gets a counter off.
Sorting this. So I'll gain 6.
Batterskull still manages to gain him life, though not in the way he would have preferred.
Good. He's drawing top, which isn't going to do anything. Yeah. Kill this. Note I had to equip Batterskull there, not Jit, to kill him, since Jit had no counters.
The key to that game was Abbott not hitting a shuffle effect in time. If he'd hit a few more fetch lands, been able to see a few more cards, he might have been able to stay ahead of the pace.
Well, if he played anything other than GT, awesome. Any
Oh,
card
that
other
turn?
than GT
Sure.
Yeah.
was beautiful.
But it's Death in Texas, that's what they play.
I mean, it's a 1-0, right?
Yeah. But there's swords. There's like.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I beat Sword all day. It was just GT killing the mentor the turn it came out that I couldn't beat.
Yep. No, but you did get someone unlucky not getting, any of your fetches or even ponders to be able to shuffle the deck and see all the new cards. You got yourself a little brainstorm locked. Just trying to float those on the top
It
of the
took a
deck.
long time to get to terminus.
I was sitting on a Sarah Vendor forever, just like no reason to deploy it.
Nope.
You never want to put more than 2 threats.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I mean, that's how Death in Texas wins, is they, play an early threat, and then they just do enough stuff to annoy you to death. And, Death in Texas doesn't have any haymakers.
Oh my
They
God,
just-
Caracas. What is going on with you?
Well, he's going to ship that hand.
Just the
It's
1
single
of Caracas is the only land both opening
In
hands.
both opening hands.
I'm gonna keep mine.
Any other land in the deck.
That's true. If it's just a Tundra, there's some consideration.
I had Ponder, I'd keep Tundra.
Yeah. Yeah, on the play, you're right.
Alright. Man.
I've been considering his scry.
Yep.
Okay, a couple of choices there. We'll need to keep on top. This is going to be a very different game.
Cool.
No turn 1 Aether Vial from Death and Taxes. So nothing to put Eben to the does he have Force of Will or does he not test.
It's beautiful lands, courtesy of Matt Ripper.
Yes. Well, I mean, I have good taste in lands, what can I say? Although apparently we're getting some full art lands in, but not all the basics are going to be full art in Amonkhet. I blame Nicol Bolas, obviously. Oh, just revealed the fetch land on top. Ah, the promo Thalia. Again, this is part of Death and Tax's strategy. A cheap beater who is just slightly annoying to all the other decks. Death and Tax is truly death by 1,000 cuts. They just make everything awkward, delay you by a turn on your key turn, make everything cost a little more. They just wear you down.
2. Oh yeah, that's the thing, isn't it?
Thalia, let's see, does he have a 2 on the top of the deck? He does not. He got a Brainstorm.
Good.
Mirroring Crusader. Really there for the bug matchup, where they're pretty much on Toxic Deluge or Bust.
Trigger.
Sure.
Here, Ebony and tap both blues because of Thalia's tax.
Not a ton of 3s in Evan's deck, but there are some.
When you're looking at 3s, you're generally looking at Entreat the Angels,
Yep.
Possibly Vendilion Click.
We know he has Mentor.
And then what's the white sorcery removal spell that was there for True Name Nemesis? Judgment?
Council of Judgment.
Council of Judgment. And Mentor, obviously.
Yeah. Okay.
Wasn't a 3, still is effective. Here, Evan hitting a Terminus early that he can make it a 2-for-1. He's now ahead of the game, not just trading 1-for-1 with all of Brad's threats. See another Thalia come out. See what the top 3 cards yield. And that's a 2, Snapcaster Mage.
Pester.
With the superior original artwork.
Upkeep on top of the planes.
Scalding Tarn. Yet another card being reprinted in Modern Masters. All the value in that set, or, more likely, reducing the overall value of Modern by at least 20%.
Probably.
I don't know how much of that is a joke. I haven't done the math, but it feels right, doesn't it?
Basically all of the big labels except Goy.
When we still have Mythic slots left, they may throw Goyf in there. But I'm hard-pressed to think of a value card that they aren't reprinting that people have been begging for. Let's them search for another creature. Now, I'd like to see this one resolved just because I want to see what Brad goes and searches for. With Death and Taxes, there's a few just like flex spots that are mostly left up to the discretion.
Crazy. 4.
Evan, not having found a 3-drop, chooses to put the land on top so that he hides any information he can from Brad.
Not surprising that we didn't hit there because there's only 3 threes in the deck.
Here we're looking for
Stoneforge.
Stoneforge Mystic.
Oh. Let's see it.
Yeah.
2 cards?
3.
3 cards?
Knowing what's on top of the deck, Brad can guess what's possibly in Evan's hand.
Okay. Marker. Go ahead.
Scalding card Brad already knew about.
Easy.
Would love to find a top.
That would seem good.
Honestly, no fear. No equipment so far. Oh, tapping all 3 white sources, leaving Port and Wasteland up. Flicker Wisp.
Thank you. That's results. You have 1 card.
Yeah, important to remember Flicker Wisp was not an instant blink like, say, a Restoration Angel. It'll come back at the end of turn.
Go.
For those who can't quite see, that is a sort of fire and ice. If I remember the abilities, when the creature that's equipped with it deals damage, it'll deal 2 damage to target creature or player, and you will get to draw a card.
8 or 20.
It also gives protection from blue and red.
On top.
Phyrexian Revoker survives the important casting phase, but will not survive a life of gentle farming.
Go.
Don't really want to draw a mechanic.
Again, Brad is in a situation where he could take Eben off of 5 mana for potential top deck Force of Will, but he can't cut him off from double of blue or white. Again, one of the strengths of the Miracle deck is it's fairly robust against Wasteland.
Tap a Thunder.
And now some of you may be wondering why Eben chose to play the Arid Mesa instead of trying to bluff something in his hand, forcing Brad to play around things. Key is, if Brad casts something, Eben's going to get a look at the top of the deck. If he doesn't like the top of the deck, the Arid Mesa allows him to shuffle it away. He likes the top of his deck, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, that's unfortunate.
I don't think that Arid Mesa is getting cracked. Here, taking away the fetch land,
Yeah.
just removes a little, the most value you can for that. The Terminus is cast, Snapcaster, and the Mirror Crusader go back underneath. At this
Someday
point,
this counterbalance will counter something. Maybe.
you see a 5. It was a counterbalance.
Go.
Okay, the Batterskull token is he gonna play? He knows what card is in his hand.
6 plus 2. Draw a card.
Yeah, the 2-turn clock.
Bad at this game.
Go.
I'm wondering, and I don't know the answer to this, would playing the Vial and the Mom be better than just leaving up 3 to be able to bounce the Batterskull back to hand?
I had land in hand.
You had a land in hand?
Yeah, I would have played. Oh, no,
Yeah.
yeah, because I had equip.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. I don't know what gets you because he's not really going to destroy the Batterskull itself.
Well, no, so I had
Yeah.
a land in hand, right?
Yep.
Did I equip first? I can't remember.
Yeah, you
Did I?
equip first, you had 3 mana open, and then
Then I attacked.
like you could play one of them
Okay.
and played your land out. But I like leaving the 3 mana open to be able to bounce Batterskull back to hand.
No, you're right.
I mean, it's still fairly slow, but it cuts out, one of his options. So then you can instantly replay it the next turn if you're out of creatures.
No, you're not wrong.
Yeah, and I don't think the Vial really does anything at that point in the game. Yeah.
The vial was a test for the mom.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Now we're going to sideboards. Death and Taxes looking for more, corporate income taxes to put on the field.
Or death.
More death.
Miracles bringing in more board sweepers. Now, if you've never seen Miracles be played, understand it's usually much more smooth because most people who play Miracles draw both ways to shuffle the deck and Sensei's Divining Top. So you haven't seen it in
Or
full.
counterbalance and Sensei's Divining Top.
Yes, Counterbalance and Sensei. It plays a lot of all of those cards. So you've seen Evan get a little unlucky in these first 2 games. Now, admittedly, Death and Taxes really designed to kind of slow these decks down. I mean, it's not Death and Taxes #1, target. That was always, it was developed largely to take care of show and tell.
In Delver decks.
Yeah.
It's pretty good against Delver decks. Any Delver deck that, most Delver decks have like no basics. So Wasteland's really good against them, Port's really good against them, it just keeps them up tempo. Thalia's really good.
Thalia is especially good against the Delver decks.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the preferred style of Delver deck these days, of course, Bug Delver. Mirror Crusader essentially has protection from the entire deck, and that's why they have to sideboard in the Toxic Deluges. Now, Toxic Deluge is quite the beating against Death and Taxes, because often they'll have their own Goyfs on the field, and guess what? Goyf will live through it. All of the 1 toughness and 2 toughness creatures on the other side will not.
I can't remember Toxic's mana requirement.
It's 2 and a black.
Yeah, so
And then you pay X life
Right.
to give all creatures -X
but
-X.
since the printing of Prelate Sanctum or whatever it is, that card has gotten worse.
Yes.
Arguably. It helps you a little bit against it. Basically.
Well, it's virtually your only out to Mirror Crusader. Because that card, because your removal is Abrupt Decay, and now Fatal Push, again, does nothing because it has protection from black and green. During that phase where, wizards like to give protection from colors to things.
Wizards made hosers.
Yes. I miss a good hoser, though. I mean, how much would we give for a nice graveyard hate card in Standard? But this is also a weird Standard. I was thinking the other day, it's gotten a little stale, we'll admit. But I actually like the play patterns
You
of a
wanna
lot of the
play?
decks in Standard.
Sure. So I'm going to be on the play this game since I was the first game, so we're alternating.
Evan's not drawing good opening hands these days that had no lands in them.
I think this hand's a keep. It's another hand without a top, though. Or not a top, an Aether Vial. Which is usually pretty good against the Miracle decks. But
Yeah, if you were running top, that would be a surprise.
but I do have some power in my hand, and I think it's worth keeping.
At some point, we'll see the Miracles deck play on 7 cards, but not so far.
Maybe. Ooh.
Now, Evan's got a tough choice here. He does have, lands and spells. They don't quite line up too well, but his Scribe makes that so much better. Now the question is, how much does he respect Wasteland out of Brad? The answer is quite a bit.
As he should.
No turn 1 play for Brad. A little rough.
Unless it's Vile, it's not uncommon. You really only have Mom, so there's only usually about 7 or 8 ways to cast a 1-drop.
Evan's got 1 card he really wants.
This is very awkward.
Yeah.
Oh, that is super awkward.
I think you have to risk with the shuffle.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't.
Here's why I say that
Just
is
goes
I
to
don't
the-
think then it's 3 turns until you pretty much do anything
2
else.
turns.
2 turns.
I miss 1 land drop. I don't know. I think just a random.
Yeah, but you've
If
got a
it's
very
not land,
you've got a
but
very
I still miss the land drop.
Yeah, but you also have a very mana intensive hand.
I don't know. I'm gonna keep
Okay.
it.
Hold on. Nope.
That makes it tougher.
Now I need to decide if I actually want to deploy anything. I guess we'll start by attacking. Kind of had him hosed on mana a bit, so I think I'm fine with just passing the turn. Sure. Okay. We'll tap the island.
The most dangerous card in Magic, by the way. Island. This is going to be really funny if he draws 2 more lands.
Alright, I didn't bring my knights. I took them out of my deck box, but go ahead.
Let's see if we
We got a
have.
knight. This Gideon's never going up in Legacy in this matchup. It's just going to be making 2/2s forever.
Yeah, no reason to expose the Sword of Plowshares. Evan did draw the Flooded Strand on time, so he has a chance. If you can get a Planeswalker on the field, they're fairly difficult for most decks in Legacy to remove.
3-mana Planeswalker? Oh, you're talking about Gideon.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? What is coming right now?
No.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, Evan just wants to see more cards. They're good cards, but they're not probably quite what he's looking for right now. And it goes instantly in shuffle.
So
Is that just a stack of tokens?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, any
Evan
more-
prides
any more
himself on
knights in
having the
there?
improved.
Yeah.
The
there's
perfect,
some
yes.
And some animals.
Sweet. So he took a shuffle, drew a random card. He's tapped out. I could probably take up this turn safely if I wanted to. It does represent quite a bit of damage. In fact, I think that's what I'm going to do.
7.
Yeah.
The Guardian of Thraben. Death by 1,000 cuts.
I'll pass after that, and I'll tap your planes in your upkeep.
Trying to avoid a potential terminus on the upkeep.
Yep.
There.
22. Oh, you searched my first value, right? So 24.
Yep.
I'm trying to figure out why fetch. I'm sure it'll show me here in a second. Oh, sure. Yep. Well, I think it's worth taking him to 1.
Yeah, you cut off potential future fetch lands. You cut off Force of Will as an out. Not an out, but a potential piece of interaction.
Flicker Wish. Sorry, board. Go ahead. Upkeep. I'll tap the Tundra. Yeah.
Don't quite see a way out of this with Eben at 1. He's got 1 shot at it. I was gonna say, you might want to have the one thing that could save your life in your hand.
Yep. Or no, wait. I should do that. Yeah, that seems loose.
Release represent blocking.
Yep.
Social Plowshares, putting Eben at 3.
Upkeep. Draw stuff.
Yeah.
So even if it has Terminus on top, I can tap his land, it forces his hand, and then Gideon will kill him.
Activate the Gideon. The irony was Gideon was also in Eben's hand. That's why it
sure,
would have been
okay.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Gideon largely replacing the original Elspeth in most Legacy Miracles lists, or any white, Death and Taxes. 2/2 just better than the 1/1. The jump ability just really exposes any creature to a removal spell. And again,
Swinging for 5 is a lot.
swinging for 5 is a lot, although you don't do that all that often. Just making an army of 2/2s slowly over the course of the game will defeat quite a few decks in Legacy because they're just not equipped to deal with frankly, what's a fairly pedestrian threat when it comes to standard or modern?
I've seen him more
He's
playing
pretty good in
modern.
standard.
He's pretty good all over the place. I'm pretty
Yes.
sure most of the pros have put him as like the top 3 planeswalkers ever printed, which is kind of crazy.
Oh, that's
I
an
know.
interesting question. Obviously, you've got
Zero
Mind
play.
Sculptor. He's kind of in a
Oh my
class
god,
by
I can
himself.
keep a hand.
He can keep 7. We see miracles on 7.
I'll
It's a
keep-
miracle.
So I think you're talking obviously Jace the Mind Sculptor, Liliana the Veil. I would put number 2.
Go.
Oh, both have their key artifact on turn 1 and planes.
Yeah.
I think I'd put Karn 3rd.
What was your second one? Liliana?
Liliana the
Yeah,
Veil.
sure.
I mean, she see play in Legacy
I
Modern.
think Karn's in more formats now, though. Or not Karn, Gideon.
Vintage.
Just because he's in standard and current's not.
Well,
Oh,
is
if-
Karn in Legacy?
Uh,
I haven't seen him.
Sure. I don't think so.
no, he was in a few of the big mana.
But he's in like tier 1.
Go ahead.
No. But then again, Gideon doesn't really see a lot of play in Modern.
Go. Oh, sure. Draw a step. Let's have the top.
Here, he's trying to cut him off from blue mana.
Yep.
Use the
Chose to
stick-
do it in the draw step because he's setting up his top, and it's not uncommon for a Death in Texas player to do it in the upkeep. So it's very possible that he like brainstorms in response, or uses top in response or something into your turn. Activate.
Showing quite a bit of respect for Mom, as he should. Does he have the other land to go with the Rashad Nord? The answer would be yes, and it's a wasteland.
Good.
Then we should see an activation of top here after the cut. Some enticing choices.
I'll waste the thunder.
Here, Brad wanting to come off from potential double colors.
Just keeping him off a land too is good. Really want to choke their mana. Activate.
Fortunately, he doesn't seem to have had a Thalia in hand. In that case, in response to the Stampcaster, you're going to put in the Thalia and kind of wrecked Evan's plans. Still, a 3/3 flyer will end the game in fairly short order.
Good. It's in your upkeep?
Yeah.
Okay. Still in your upkeep. Tap planes. Avenger pretty good against Snapcaster Mage.
Can't be
Activate.
wrong. Ah, Brahmas. An army in a can.
Comment. 7. Yeah, cat.
Of course, Brahmas, when he attacks, has a 1/1 cat with vigilance attacking with him, as he's king of the unit.
Vermont. Sure. Take 4. Pass the turn.
The nice thing about Brahmas also, the Caracas, as long as you leave it up, protection from Terminus, source to plowshares, a resilient threat that Brad can play again and again, especially if you're leaving the vial on 3.
Yeah, this card. Yep, that's fine. Card is great against, or great with Aether Vial.
Yeah. Evan's going to have multiple removal spells in the same turn to permanently eliminate it.
Yep, and then in the draw step, tap Thunder.
Tap what?
Tundra. Sure. Tapping Tundra here, obviously it's 2 colors, but also I want to keep him off double white so that if he does swords this, then I can respond with Caracas and he doesn't have a backup spell.
Yep.
It's not like great by any means, but it's one of my only options. Comment. Trigger.
Another cat's going to get added to the army. Well, Evan's got a single white up. And he's going to activate the Terminus. Bouncing Brahmas back to hand. Cats die. The angel goes back.
Good. Draw step. Thunder.
Response, Evan's going to swords the Thalia, exiling her. And he's got the top counterbalance. Lock on. The Aether Vial does make it look a bit underpowered. 2 cards in hand for Brad. 1 blue open for Evan, so he's not having to worry about Terminus or Swords to Plowshare shenanigans.
Attack.
It's 4.
Go ahead. Attack. Of course it does.
Yeah.
Evan's on a
This
3
is
turn
an
clock.
interesting turn.
Now, obviously, he's trying to provoke Evan to make a move.
Sure.
He's wanting to resolve something.
If I was gonna tap that, I should have did it pre-combat.
Yeah.
Because Evan could just float it in response. But I'll name top. Go ahead.
I mean, it did signal to Evan that he wanted to get a 2 on top, with only a 2 mana open and the need to keep Caracas constantly up to protect Ramaz.
Could be a 1, could be mom.
I don't know for just Mom if you would have taken the risk.
No.
You've already got protection for your
Well, a
Ramaz.
mom is 7 next turn. Like, any creature is lethal. Because this is 4 or 5. Oh no, I need 2.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so Mom wouldn't have been lethal.
Yeah, you got it.
Can't beat Caracas Burmos
Yeah, it's really good.
with Painter Vial.
I've totally forgotten to do life totals, so
Well, at least we have these fancy dice.
yes, it's true.
Maybe David can edit it, the life totals in
Yes.
post. or something.
The match has been too engrossing.
Should have been that gross.
I've found them fascinating. So they're going on to game 5. 2 sideboarded games.
Yeah.
Currently 4-0 for the Death and Taxes deck. Again, a small sample size, but you can see what kind of small problems it can actually cause for Miracles.
I don't think it's got a bad Miracles matchup, but you do have to play it really carefully.
Yeah.
I can.
So far,
keep
you've
it.
successfully
So
kept
I'm gonna play.
kept on the back foot. Worry is if you don't have a piece of interaction for if you let him untap with a mentor,
Yeah.
that's always the problem.
Good.
Brad plays his second best opening, Mom.
Yep.
Chanceley dies. Brad goes to 21.
Will he force my ballot though?
The eternal question.
Can you beat Thalia plus port? Because if you can, then you probably need to force it. Yeah.
Evan goes down to 19.
Yeah, that was a really good draw. I'm not going to lie. Go. Bounce it.
Now the eternal question, does he get to untap with the mentor?
It looks like he does. Two cards though. Good. 2. Tap. Island. Okay, on top.
Brad left the Thalia a little vulnerable there, but worth it to prevent more mentor shenanigans on his own turn. I've been down to 17. And the Burmaz with the Karakas combo. Now he doesn't have the Aether Vial on 3.
Yeah.
So he can't instantly replay it on the instep. But now things get a little more interesting because we have Sensei's Divining Top with an active Monastery Mentor.
Yep. Yep. Actually, that was bad. I'll play this one. I should stop. Sure.
Let's see what I want to do. Definitely want that. That.
That should have left Port Caracas. That was a mistake. Yep. Did you play top this turn?
Yeah.
Takes an extra mana.
That. There's a tie, yeah. Okay, that changes.
Sure.
Judge!
Whose tokens will prevail?
Sorry. Walk it. Take 5. Take a pain. Make it 2/2. Good. Gain 4. Or 3 really? Yep. So this is a 3, this is a 4?
No, this was 2, 3.
Oh, 2, 3. Okay. Block here, take 3.
Gideon goes down to 1, but does manage to survive the turn.
Hmm. 3 cards?
Yep.
You're 12. Recruiter
I'm gonna take a pain.
and Stoneforge Mystic.
No.
Oh.
Name top. Go ahead.
Fraction Revoker on top. Very nice, trying to shut down the Monastery Mentor engine.
Oh. Thalia is just crushing me.
That's what she does.
Yeah. She's very good at drawing like 2
Slightly annoying.
Yeah. I mean, there's 4 in there. But yeah, I've definitely been drawing 2 a lot. She's a very, very good Legacy card, that's for sure. She's much better in Legacy than any other format, just because there's all these 1-mana spells. So few.
And so few things that really cost you for playing something with 1 toughness. Besides Uma with Jitter. Yeah, Prowess triggers, you get a 3/3 Mentor and a 2/2.
And she has first strike.
Yep.
Why not?
Yep. After forcing him to avoid playing top this turn, he's perfectly fine trading in for the Snapcaster. One lone Prowess monk against Thalia. Hardly seems fair. And she's got Gideon for backup.
I've been drawing a lot of decision makers. Knight.
Stoneforge Mystic. Terminus on top.
Trigger.
The Gideon does complicate the Terminus, cleaning up the board. And with 5 mana, Brad can also add a Batterskull for, to the board after forcing him into, sweep.
Miracle trigger on this tag. I guess Terminus on the stack because I want to make you pay for it first. I'll take a pain, tap this, and then
Caracas is that, yeah. Finally gets to play the top for its 1 mana cost. I've been down to 7.
this is a tough turn. Holy crap. I feel like slamming Batterskull is like an okay thing. He has to know exactly what's the next card and play it around everything for me to. I don't know. I'm gonna do maybe the riskier line. But he knows I'm gonna Caracas Thalia, so it's probably a 2.
That didn't activate top.
You just knew about Terminus the whole time?
I revealed last turn too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
He revealed the
okay,
Terminus last
I
turn.
assumed you had set it up.
Yeah.
So okay, you didn't set it up.
Yeah, the top's fresh. He has not. He doesn't know what
Fair
what the top
enough.
card
I mean,
of
I
the
don't
deck
know
is.
that. Well, I mean, I guess if I'm paying closer attention, I probably know that. Oh man, I have a lot of plays. This is probably like the foolproof one. So we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Ponder on top.
Pain. I've had the sword for like ever. Sure. Yeah. Go to
Well,
6.
getting rid of Force of Will.
Go ahead.
Again, it can just activate getting in, apply the sword for lethal.
Yep. Jeez. Gideon, sure. One card. So I basically just need to dodge a 3.
We have a Flicker Wisp going after the token. And it's a 2.
Make this a creature. Cool. Swing. I think
Die too strong.
I think Counterbalance supposed to come out.
Yeah. Well, let's look at the... What sideboard options do we have?
Do you want to stop recording? Do you know? Did he tell you?
No. I do not know how to stop recording. So we're live on the YouTubes. I guess I'd pause that.
I don't know. I think it's something else.
Down on the
OBS.
toolbar.
Which one? Yeah, click that.
What was that?
It's on that monitor over there.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see.